Hello, am I audible to you guys?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, hello,
Yes,
hello. Yeah.
yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay. So have you guys like completed your assignment?
Not fully, but we are on it. Those are some high-level questions. They are taking some much time.
Okay. Um,
So,
okay.
can we
So
also
you
discuss some of the questions here, ma'am?
yeah. So first, today's agenda is to discuss about the uh, your career choice. We will complete it and then we can discuss it. Um, so yeah. So okay. So last time also we discussed about the career choice and the responsibilities, the skill sets that we need to have, like for different domains that we currently have in data, like data science, analysis, and then after data engineering. So last time, whatever skill sets do we need for any respective positions, we talked about that, and the skill sets as well, along with responsibilities, we studied that. So now on your professional month, you guys will be segregating into different domains or fields that you find like more interesting or you find yourself interested on, right? So pretty much we have talked about it last time, but like most of you have not completed your assignment yet, and we need to take that into considerations as well, so that we can get few feedbacks of every individual's, um, so that it would be helpful for us later on for filtering out for certain designations. So keeping that in mind, today we plan to talk or discuss about the career choice itself. So once you will submit it, we will be beginning it from like coming week. So since we have talked about all the skill sets and responsibilities, the main differences between these agendas, so today we won't be discussing it, but instead, if you have any questions regarding the different domains or any curiosity, then you can forward it, and we will be talking about it today. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, I think Emraj is speaking.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. So we are talking about the assignment questions or uh, questions about what was it? Occupation or career path.
Yeah, so if you guys still have not figured out, and if you are in confusion, like what's gonna be the major differences between all the different domains, like that we have, like on the basis of what you should be selecting the different different domains, like engineering or analyst or science, right? So if you have any curiosity or questions or confusions on that part, then you can put it forward. If you are clear like what you want, then that's not a problem, it's not for you, like those people. But for those people who have interest in data but cannot figure out which part of data, n- and has certain questions or curiosity or confusion, then you guys can put your questions forward. Okay, so are you guys clear like what uh, like field you would be selecting on your professional month?
Yeah, ma'am, on that, they all are like similar to each other, so very it's getting too deep. How to choose it? Like, I love to play with data, but I can't figure out what would be the best, what you said, uh, best career for me to continue. Like,
Mhm. Oh, okay. So yeah, so if you are interested in data, so last time also we talked about it, like if you guys are more into like how to manage the data, how to maintain the data pipeline, and you actually are more interested in this part, like where are all these data coming from, and then how to manage this data, how to utilize this, make sure that these data are utilizable. So if you have like a passion into this kind of stuffs, like oh, we have so much of data, like how, where do we dump it, how do we dump it, how do we store it? So how do we make sure that like whatever platform is using this particular data, it is mm, like synchronized to that particular platform. So if you are more into this part, and if you are more into querying the database or any database management system or any this kind of query languages, then you can jump into data engineering. But if you are more into this creative part and more into um, like finding the informations about the data, what conclusion can we draw from the data, like how can we make sure that this particular data can actually bring out the insights which would be helpful for that particular organization or any corporation that you are working for, whether that is on the government level or small organizations or whatever. But if you have this kind of creativity at the same time, like this knowledge, like how to build a chart so that it would be like very straightforward to conclude any kind of informations, right? Or basically playing around with the data and finding the insights, the patterns or whatever you can conclude from that particular data. If you are more into it, then you can go to data analyst. But if you are more into actually utilizing that whole data and building something uh, uh, which actually can predict the thing, or which actually can give us some model which actually can do all these powerful things that we can actually see on the current world of AI, like chat gpt or like sora or dali or all these kind of platforms. If you are into it, then you can go towards, or you can lean towards data science. So so yeah, so this is the like top tier like information or the major differences that we have in between these three different domains. So whatever makes you feel like, oh, this is interesting, then you can jump into that part. uh, should I clarify more, or is it clear?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma-
Yes.
Can you explain like what kind of tool are we gonna use to different fields ma? अनि like कतिको pressure हुन्छ like कामहरू गर्दाखेरि यताउता.
So yeah, we talked about we talked about these tools last time as well. I will just share it. So basically, if you are more into let me just share
Ma'am,
that.
त्यो
Give
चार्ट
me
नि
one
चार्ट
second.
देखाएर यसो गरिदिँदा it would be easier for everyone to look into it and just
So yeah, to chart or is that not available to you guys?
yeah, we have it, but if any of us can share a screen and we can see it in the screen, it would be easier for us to just look at the tools, what we will be using there, and fill it or whatever.
Yeah, actually, we have already talked about this topic in the last class, like what are the tools and what are the concepts that we will be going through it. But despite that, if you have any other questions, so to clarify, actually today we have kept today's agenda. But if you have not gone through it, or if you were not present on the last class, or if you have not gone through the recordings of the last class, then I will share in that case. But you can, I think you guys do have access to that slide as well, so you can actually go through it on your own as well.
Ma'am, can you elaborate a little bit on the field of data science,
Yeah, sure.
like the future
Uh,
scope in international market also, not only in the Nepal's case, but also in
yeah, yeah.
outside the country.
Yeah. So currently, so inside data, actually, data science is a very vague topic. Inside data science, we have like different other domains like ML engineers, and then computer vision engineer, and now we have these like time series analysis, and then after we also have these ML ops, and then we also have these prompt engineering. So inside the like it's a very like a vague topic that we have out there. But like if you have to talk about international market, then like whatever you can see currently, like everything, like just now also you might have heard the news about the deep seek, and there is another platform again being released for the videos, and like Sora. So all these platforms which you can actually see everything, like taking from whatever hype is over there, like on the AI market currently. Okay, like taking from reinforcement learning, like so if I have to talk about the application like self-driving cars. And you might also have heard that currently US is planning to make the vaccine like for every cancer patients. So all these kind of applications, okay, which actually utilizes the data, okay, and prepare a model so that it can predict or it can give us the result, okay, like chat gpt or any particular models, okay. Like you can see recommendation engine in YouTube's, okay, you can see recommendation engine on e-commerce sites like Amazon or AWS or wherever, okay. So taking from recommendation engine to powerful platforms like all these a llama or whatever you can hear out there. Okay, like you are just typing it and you are getting the images, you are just typing it, typing means basically you are sending a prompt, a text, which in AI we call prompt, right? So you are sending a prompt and you are getting the images, you are sending a prompt, you are getting a videos, you are sending a prompt as a question, you are getting answers, you are sending a prompt like that can be like you might be expecting the code. So you are sending that prompt and you are getting that code, right? So all these everything, okay, so this actually is the part of data science. Okay, so now yeah, this is the like the major part is of data scientists, but I'm not saying this that, oh, this platform can only be made with like by data scientists. Okay, for any application we need all three roles that we are talking about here. Okay, like data engineer, data science, data analyst, we do need everyone to do any particular application. Okay, but how is it like split it to different domains, right? So now let's take example of ChatGPT, because that is a very hot topic that we have currently in the market. So let's so I will talk about it. Okay, so now to prepare a ChatGPT as well, we need a data, right? and like and you can imagine like it covers way more like domains, right? You go and ask the questions from medical, it's going to answer the question. You go and ask the questions about coding, it's going to answer your questions regarding digital marketing, social media marketing, any books, any politics or geography or anything. It's going to answer your question, right? So you can now imagine how much data source has it utilized, right? So now, so to collect all that data and dump somewhere. Okay, now last time also we talked about this, that just because data we are talking about only collecting data is not the part of data engineer, but to collect the data and make sure that the um, uh, like uh, as you grow as a company, then you also have to be aware, like are you using authentic data or not, right? From security perspective or from any other perspective, that you must be aware about this kind of things as well, right? So you need to collect that data, you need to make sure that is somewhere, and you need to make sure that data is available to someone out there, like analyst or data science or ML engineers or whatever. For now, let's call data scientist. Okay, so now so this particular responsibility comes under data engineer. Okay, so now next part we have is of data analyst, right? So now you have this all these data. Okay, so now as a data analyst, what you can do, you can check things like, okay, on which like for example, there might be different things like, okay, on this particular nation this particular topic is used more, on this particular nation these kind of things are restricted, these and that. So if you will you can study all those data that is out there, and from there you can draw out some conclusion. Okay, whether that be that can be in like a visualization, uh, like charts or anything, you can do that way, or you can also conclude that using a data frame or anything. Okay, but what you are doing is you are finding the insights, you are finding some pattern from there, you are making sure that uh, like uh, okay, this kind of topics, it should not be shown out there, or it should not be shown out there, or like this if it's like for example, like what might be the like word that is mostly used on chat gpt. I'm just giving an example. Okay, I'm just giving an example like what would the data analyst job would look like. So this is just a simple example. What is the word that is mostly used in that word cloud that they have stored as a data source, like for chat gpt? right? So these kind of insights, whatever you can give, so that can not always be like a very powerful thing, but that can also be a statement, that can also be a conclusion, that can just be a information, piece of information only. But finding this kind of things or insights, whether in the form of visualization or in the form of data frame or just a statement. Okay, so these part of things comes under data analyst. So now and also data analyst work does not just stop there, but after, like when they start to have user as well, okay, on which location is ChatGPT being mostly used, okay, or on which part does the company need to spend more, these and that. So what are the topics that are being mostly searched, right? So this kind of stuffs that are also that is also something which comes under uh, under the data analyst role. Okay, then finally we have data scientist. So whatever we can see, like you are typing something, okay, that prompt everything, okay, so managing that prompt, okay, starting from there to like how we are giving the result, right? So that underlying architecture, okay, that is something which is the responsibility of data scientist. Okay, so now you can use different pre-trained model, you can build your own model, you can train your own model, whatever way we are doing it. Okay, but that particular responsibility comes under data scientist. uh, okay, is that clear to you, or should I elaborate more?
Yes, ma'am. So I had another question. In real life scenario, like suppose I have a payment gateway like eSeva or Khalti, and I need to see
Mm-hmm.
a chart of what's
Mm-hmm.
like my profit, the number of transactions that's been done in a week or month. So what would be the work division be like between data analyst, scientist, and engineer?
That solely would be the part of data analyst actually. But then again, as I already said, like data
Yes.
scientist is a intersection of all the fields that we have. Okay, so that actually comes under the responsibility of data analyst if that company is like very big. Okay, but then at the same time I also want you to be aware about these practical scenarios or real world scenarios, like in certain organizations they do not hire uh, separate person for like separate job. It actually should be done that way, but if you luckily got into good organization, then that actually is the part of data analyst. But then again, if you are into startup or anything like that, then as a data analyst that also comes under your sorry, as a data scientist that also comes under our responsibility.
So, like, have
But
you
that
encountered any real life scenario where you have to choose use all three specialists?
Yeah, yeah, that is pretty much like common in police company. But
Like, can you give us some examples? What I'm trying to ask is, if I get hired, like, this is the class, right, where I have to choose whether I'm gonna be
yeah, yeah.
one of these three things. So, what I'm trying to analyze right now or realize it, what will be my role as analyst or engineer or scientist in a workplace scenario? Like, let's assume we have a real life example or scenario. I don't have anything in my mind. I just said Iseva. Or where maybe it's a big company or small company, doesn't matter. So like they need all three of them. Three, they have hired three people and they have the different tasks right assigned to them. So what will be the work division? Like who will be responsible
Actually,
for what and who will be responsible for what?
mhm. So actually, it's not like in every organization they hire all the people. So like in some company it actually depends upon their use cases as well. Like for example, so I'm working on multiple companies, so I will give you example of one example. So in my one of the company they do not have like like as a data scientist, so we have what we have to do is like they are working on a sport domain, and they are trying to build something like where a coach can actually visualize the historical data, so that they can actually get some tactics for the future reference. Okay, like okay, on these particular tactics the player did well, so we should try to do it next time. So we are trying to build that kind of application, but now here we do not need a data scientist, or sorry, we do not need data analyst. Okay, so currently we do not have any data analysts in this organization. So here what actually what actually is happening is that we do have this historical data out there, and there is someone responsible to manage all these data, and they provide us data, right? So as a data scientist, it's our responsibility to make sure that uh, like to analyze that particular video. Now I do not want you to misphrase this word analyze. like so now as a data scientist, what we do is that we have this video form. Okay, we do have this video data in the form of video, and what we do is that like we convert that into arrays, tensors. Okay, and our end goal is to provide the coordinates of every player on every frame to a VR team, so that they can convert that into 3D, and the coach can visualize that particular tactics in a repetitive way or whatever way he want, but actually to for him to study that in detail. Okay, so now you can see, and it's a very big company. Okay, so now you can see they do not need any data analyst over here. There is only data engineer and data scientist, ML engineers and other. So now I'm working in another organization. So here what actually is happening is that they have backend developers and they have data scientists. So they do not have data engineers. Why? Because as a developer, they like a backend developer, they already have data and everything dumped over there in the database, and they provide data in the form of API to data scientists. So data scientist gets that, but they also have something like they need to do time series analysis, because this is like the company related to education. So they want, and it's an Australian company, and over there they have lot of options, like uh, like uh, way too many subjects. It's not like in Nepal we have six subjects and two subjects as optional, and so like it goes that way. But over there they have like way too many options, right? And what they are trying to do is that, like, okay, on this particular subject, how many students is going to like select this particular option, how many student is going to select this particular option. So they want to figure it out beforehand, so that it would be easier for them for the next session to manage that. So so this comes under data analyst role. Okay, but they do not have data analysts. So as a data scientist, it again becomes my responsibility to do that particular part as well, like to analyze it. And also they have like search engines where students comes and like searches like what kind of area, course area are they interested in. Like, are they interested in um, IT, are they interested in engineering, are they interested in nursing, what are the subjects that they are interested in. So now what they do is that, like, they keep track of all the words that are being searched. Okay, so that they can know like what are the institutes that they should be collaborating with. Like, if there is more demand of IT, then they obviously would want to collaborate with such institutions which actually is good in IT over there in Australia, right? So now how do we do it, how do we resolve it? It's the part of data analyst to keep track of all the words and build a word cloud from there, or whatever chart, bar chart, or whatever you can draw. But at the end, like, you need to figure out like what is the word that is being mostly searched for, right? So that is the part of data analyst. But there is no data analyst, so that comes under the role, or that comes under the responsibility of data scientist. And there is also another um, project, like by using, by keeping track of all the like whatever pages that they have been through, whatever they are searching, whatever they are keeping there as their interest, or whatever similar other students are looking for. Okay, so now keeping track of all these kind of data, now it becomes the responsibility of data scientist to build a recommendation engine, right? So now there is search engine as well, but now it's not like the previous generations, like where we just look for the word and we typically get that word only. It's not like that. It's not the world of lexical current, it's the world of semantic, right? So for that, we cannot do that with the help of backend only. We do need AI for that, because we are going for meaning, like literally meaning, right? If you are looking for IT, then if there is something like data science, then that should be published over there. It's not word IT, there is no word IT over there, but that is, we do know that they are like quite similar to each other. So when you are searching for IT, you should get the uh, subjects, or you should get the institutions that actually is covering subjects like data science, mobile developments, and software engineering, front end development, software development, back end development, AI, data engineering, whatever. Okay, so now again, this is the responsibility of data scientists to maintain that, right? So another company which I talked about, sports. Okay, that is a, like, that is the company from Ireland. Okay, and now just because I'm saying this thing, that okay, small company, usually we do have to do everything over there. On the big company, they have separate persons for that. Just because I'm saying this does not mean, or I do not want you guys to interpret it this way, that in big corporations we have like every designated persons. No, like, they do not need data analysts, so why would they want to invest on that? They do not have any applications, they do not have any projects for data analysts, so why would they hire them, right? So it depends upon the application that current company is engaged in. And next thing is that, like in the second company that I was talking about, right? So now there, if they want to hire data analysts, then obviously there is a project for data analysts, because there are way too many other projects. That is just only one project which I talked about, but there are other projects as well, where uh, they can actually provide job for data, or they can actually give tasks for data analyst, right? But they are not doing it, right? So it's very real world scenario we are talking about. So like somewhere they might not have tasks, they might not hire. Somewhere they might have tasks and they might have all three designated persons. So somewhere they might have tasks, but they have like very little, or they are actually startup or something like that, so they want uh, same person to manage all other. So now you can actually go to the startup, and there will be some people like same person managing the tasks of data engineer, data analyst, data scientist, and others. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Should I elaborate more?
No, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Any other question, guys?
Also, I think, Vidya, I can add a little bit on the top of what you said. Definitely, let me share my screen, okay? I think, bear my voice, guys. I'm a little sick right now, and I got a flu, and my voice may not be clear, but hope you'll understand. Let's say you are in this arena right now. Hope everybody can see my screen, right? Is it is it
Yes, yes,
visible?
yes.
All right. So let's say you are in this region right now, and you want to go either DE or DS or DA zone, right? So now I'm still building the graph while I was talking to you, hearing your voices. I was trying to create a graph for you, but it's definitely very hard, or it's not, because there is no fine line in between three different careers. Data scientist, data analyst, or data engineering is definitely, it's like a full stack, like full stack, right? Like most of the people may know about full stack technology, which covers of backend developer plus front end developer, right? And plus analyst. So there are already a few roles in the past in the web development stack as well. Like they overlap this situation. But some of the companies that they would like to have fully stack people. Like it's better if you get into fully stack. So what I mean by here is if you are good at data science, then you slowly can improve yourself towards data engineering. Or if you are good at data engineering, you can slowly improve yourself in or get some skill sets over data science and analyst on the side. So it's definitely up to you if you want to become a fully stack people. This is what every company wants to have. So ideally, as Vidya mentioned, I've also worked with IBM in the past, worked with Air Canada. These large organizations also, they have some specialized positions when the company grows, or depending upon projects. But ideally, if it's a large project, it involves the end-to-end ecosystem, then they would like to have specialized positions like data analyst, data engineer, data architect, data scientist, business analyst, product owner. There are several, or project manager. There are several hundreds of roles, and I always see that while working with the corporates, there was already, and some of you already are working in corporate world right now. I know that there are already always a conflicting, or I can say overlapping roles and responsibilities. And then these roles, definitely there are a lot of roles and responsibility come up with the overlapping scenarios. But I see if you can grow yourself in all these three arenas, you become the best of best. Like usually in that case, those roles are called data architect. you know um, Data architect is the role that covers up all these three fields. But ideally, um, these roles are the standard experienced people that they work as a data engineer, they work as data scientist, they work as analyst, and they know how the system should work. And they are the people who make sure that all these roles and responsibilities are working in the right directions. Or data architect are the one who design the framework for data systems or AI systems to work. So uh, this is the ground up line. But it doesn't hurt starting from one role right now, either data engineering or analyst or architect, or sorry, or analyst. But just to let you know how the market looks like in terms of Nepal or in the global is, the mostly hired people are data engineers. Okay, the topmost hires are the data engineer among these three, and data scientists are the least second, or I can say the data analyst are the third one. But ideally, the data science and data analyst are chosen by companies case by case basis, where their maturity is in their project. But the top one is definitely the data engineering one, if you can cope up yourself. And once you are good with the data engineering skills, you can always brush up yourself in machine learning models. And you already know the code, you already know the system, you already know how the data framework work. Now if you add up your some skill sets like building some machine learning models and tuning them, then you are a step ahead of the general people, right? Now, uh, like some similarly, if you get to know some kind of reporting or BI tools, um, and like creating stories or presenting a story, then you become data. You also cover up the data analyst, right? So it depends upon where you head into your career, but ideally, I mean, it doesn't hurt you starting from anywhere, but always keep looking, expanding your skill sets to become the fully stacked data guy. Okay. But the quick high level, if I have to, I was just quickly generating the path flows, how it looks like. For example, if you are here in this position, let's say you ask yourself, are you a nice storyteller? I'm not asking you right now, but ask it to yourself and answer to yourself. But just I'm just asking you to ask yourself, like just ask whether or not I'm a storyteller. Storyteller, what I mean to say here, storyteller is then you are good at explaining the situation. You are good at like explaining the problems. Let's say something happens, you love. I mean, your people love while you are talking. So it doesn't mean like general like interesting. I mean, in casually, like some people are good at this. If you are this person, or maybe this person, you are yet to figure it out, then you find yourself, or let's say you are good at this. Let's say you are good at storyteller. You are good talk. I mean, you can talk very nicely. You can stand out yourself in the mass, and you can explain the situation well. Then the story goes towards somehow data analyst role, somehow. But I also need to add up some skill sets on the top of that. You need to add some tools and skill sets on the top of your storyteller skill, because this is the inborn skill or your habits, or you can build over time as well. I mean, it's not a problem. That's why I'm saying like data engineers all also build up themselves in data analyst. It doesn't mean like you are born up with this skill. But let's say if you already figure out that you are this guy, and you're a little bit of lazy in doing Python coding or exploring the systems and tools and technologies, and you don't want to be up to date with, I mean, you are not up to date yet with the tools and technologies and trend of tools and technologies, but rather you're more on interesting use cases, or visualizing or sharing like summaries and charts and so on. Then, and also you are good at SQL, like this to SQL very well, and at least some kind of a Tableau or Power BI dashboards. One of the Tableau, Power BI, or Superset, any one kind of a BI dashboard, you will be able to learn new tool definitely, but at least some tool. Then and you love presenting your reports, summaries, and charts to management, or usually project teams, or usually those teams. Then you become data analyst. Like I think I can help you in this way, but don't take it as explicitly path around this. But I have seen so many people in my career, so that's why this could be one of the pathway. But let's say you are not a good storyteller. You are a shy guy. You want to be back of the screen always, and like you don't. I mean, you are kind of introvert, or even introverts are like good at data analyst sometimes. But like I said, if you just have this skill, you can do nothing. You are just like a talker, like what you if you add up yourself with the skills, and you are result oriented, then you catch up with some skills, some roles, right? So now let's say you are a nice story, you are not, or maybe you are a storyteller, little bit of it. Then you enjoy doing Python, or you are good at Python, or I mean you already have done some kind of interesting project, you want to be. And also you are a good technical problem solver, like let's say not like your neighbor ask you to like fix their laptops, right? Or hey, maybe that is also one of the route, like sometimes you enjoy fixing the laptops, or you enjoy fixing the phones, or you say fixing some of the apps in the phones, or you do some kind of automation over your phones, or this kind of things make some crazy input to your career, like if you are those guys, then data engineering could be your career choice to start with, right? So you can start with the data engineering career choice. So I haven't done the data scientist yet, but now data scientist is, I think what data scientist comes up with. So now for data scientist, you also need to have a good storyteller skill, definitely, because without that, or it's very mild. I mean, it's not like medium to expertise, or you're good at storyteller. I can't say not like a non-storyteller that can do data science. I cannot say that, but what I'm saying is if you are good at storytelling, then you can explain what you are building, what you are building, because usually data science and data analyst roles are customer facing or management facing roles, while as data engineers are kind of a backend roles, and they usually work in the backend on the back of like data analyst or data scientist. So this customer facing or management facing roles, you have to um, like ask question, or you need to add skills like you added SQL and Python, those kind of skills. Here you might need to have Python and SQL skills for sure. uh, Plus it needs to have like domain expertise. You love exploring the domain. For example, explorer. If you are explorer in domain like banking domain, telcos, and what it feels like. If you already have explored the data that we provided you and on try to make sense of it out of it, then you could be one of the person to fit in this position. And also, like on the top of that, the other technical skills that you need to add up is the ML models, building, right? Definitely here, not just the Python, but here Python and enjoying the Python, and like you don't know yet or the next level of what it feels like data engineering do, like creating a pipelines and so on. These do prepare dashboards and reports, and these people does the machine learning model building, tuning, and so on. So I'm not keeping the advanced topic here right now, but just giving you some additional points here. So now you can go, yes, no? But if you see here, there are a lot of overlapping things that you start with the DE now, and you brush up yourself in SQL, and you start getting storyteller skills yourself ramped up and do presentations and so on, and you become data analyst as well. And like, what if like you also add up the some add up like model building or model training, deploying, or tuning. If you do this kind of, if you do love this kind of things or add these skills on the top, uh, here data analyst, create dashboards, charts, and present, build data pipelines. So data pipelines, that is more fault tolerant, scalable, fault tolerant, scalable, data cluster, data servers, and sure, clusters is a better term. Cluster and pipelines, fault tolerance, scalable. So these are the additional skill sets that you're gonna add over the advanced course for sure. But um, now, do anyone have any questions so far? Is it going well, or if anyone have a debatable topic, please add up here. Okay. Yeah, taking all these, like I've seen the message from Abhishek that you want to take all those three classes, but taking all those three classes doesn't hurt for sure. But you have to make sure that you maintain your attendance and or assignments and so on. All of these that would be nice for sure. Uh, but like I said, If you do it one for now, one course for now, and in future if you improve yourself in other courses, that also makes sense, like that should be also okay. But what brushing up yourself or doing all these three courses doesn't hurt for sure. It's a good thing to have, like. Yes, Prasad. So yeah, exactly. So if you look at the job market, the obviously you add an interesting point out there. In the market, if you see the job description, let's say, let's do it together. If you do it there, the market is crazy. They want you to know everything. They want you to know all these three topics. It's not something like, for example, you see the way even web developer positions, most of you people know about it, position. Then they ask you to know about HTML, CSS. They ask you to know about the backend technologies like Python or any programming language, or they ask you to know about cloud or servers and databases and things like that. Like they want you to have all full stack. Ideally, they're asking you full stack. So even in this data world, it's better if you can at least touch upon all these three and you are expert at one. So it doesn't mean you are jack of all and master of none. Then that's the worst case scenario in the job market. But you get frustrated yourself, and I mean, ideally, it doesn't bring you into the right place. So I prefer to have expertise in one of the role, expertise, and brush up yourself in both of these courses. Then yes, you will crack the interviews for sure. And for example, let's see data engineer jobs. Okay. Also, I think I forgot to mention you something about these days, people are also expecting you to have additional cloud knowledge, cloud skills, if you can build yourself on the top of that, like AWS or Azure or GCP or any one of the cloud. But once you know one of the cloud, the rest cloud is just matter of comparing the tools. So, but definitely it doesn't mean the only data engineers should know, but also the data scientists should know about it. Like also the data analysts should know about it. Like all these three skills should have. That's why if I go with one of the job description here, let me. So this is asking for data engineer. I think guys can see my screen, right? I think you're still following me. So response, you can see, work with the Scrum team to deliver product series according to the priorities set by the client and product owner, interact with the stakeholders, provide knowledge transfer to the team. That's fine. So working with the data pipelines into Microsoft BI. That's fine. So minimum 0. So is they are okay with the 0+ years of experience working with the AWS, like DMS, Glue, step function. So this, if you are familiar with these tools, like if you're familiar with our technology stack, for example, DMS is like a Airbyte for us, and Glue is like we have Spark like tools and tools there, and step functions is like general Python function, and it should be fine. You can compare it with it later. But for example, our relational databases, Postgres or MySQL, things like that, you will compare your skills to these later. But for now, just go with the foundation, and you also ramp up yourself in the like cloud technologies, any one of the cloud, like I said. So strong experience with Python and TypeScript. They are okay. They are see data engineers. You must have to have at least one programming language. Knowledgeable in the areas of data workload, job orchestration, batch automation technologies, including Linux scripting and so on. Experience designing and building data environment to support reporting analytics. So also just to let you know, what this data engineers does is ideally they are back of the um, like process. Let's say, for example, this is your data process. So I think you are already familiar with some of the data tables we have right now. So let's say CBS tables, that data comes from the CBS banking core banking systems where all your transaction happens. Let's say you have a card Swiss, there all your card transaction is happening, and all your loan related transaction is happening, or loan related information is here. So you already have transactions, cards, and LMS, and also customer data. And some customers keep this into CRM tools, but some customers keep these into the CBS systems as well. But depends company by company. But let's say you bring in those data to data lake. So and then data lake, you apply some kind of a transformations. You make sure that the data for a customer is linked into transactions, linked to cards, and linked to SMS, LMS. It means that when you find one customers, you know how many transactions that customers have done, you know how many cards that customer have, you know how many loans that customers have taken, something like that. You should be able to answer those questions. So data engineers do the transformation in such a way that those data are linked together, and also that the source system is directly connected to mobile banking systems. Like if you see in Nepal or abroad, like you see mobile banking apps, that banking apps are interconnected with these systems. Okay, so your ATM cards or ATMs or POS machines are connected with this system. Your loan related systems are connected with this one, and customer, so any ads or campaigns, any transactions, any activities in social media and so on are or emails, they are interconnected with these things, CRM or marketing tools. So the job of data engineer here is to create a data pipeline from these source to data lake, and do the transformations, like I said, to make sure that those data points are connected together or they're clean enough to do the analysis. Because sometimes each systems have their own way of keeping the data on data schema, on tables, and then so on. I mean, there are hundreds of CBS tools in the market. So if you bring in the data from these tools, it might differ by company. So that's why you have to make sure that those transformations will make sure that all these like differences is aligned in one is proper structure. So once you have the data, you bring into data warehouse. So data warehouse is also is it is traditional word itself, but now the in the past the data warehouse was directly coming from data sources, whereas now data warehouse is running on the top of lake, which is called. That's why the old right now is moving to data lake house. You know, which is called lake plus warehouse. So that way we are increasing the efficiency or increasing the power of data warehouse, and also the auditability, the scalability, and then so on is increased. And on the top of that, you will have BI tools. Those BI tools will be able to, like something superset, example, you already taught in superset, and you read the data from superset, you visualize it, and then so on. You create dashboards, you create reports. Those tools, these are the BI, these are the data analyst peoples. Usually data analyst sits on the top of it, or not just limiting to this one. Data analyst also responsible for analyzing the data in these areas, and try to see, let's say business would like to see, hey, how many customers we have debit cards. Business management says, hey, guys, can you give me list of customers who doesn't have credit card but they have loans with us? Let's say some business asks, why they're asking you this, because maybe the business is trying to create one strategy to sell more credit cards. Okay, so if business is trying to do so, it asks data analyst, hey, data analyst, I need to know all the customers who ever have loans but they don't have credit card. So it means you have to get the data from the customer data, you have to get the loan data to know which customer have loan or not, and you have to get this data to know which customers have credit cards, which customer doesn't have credit cards, and then so on. CVS to know how the customers are interacting with the or doing the transaction, how much money they are transferring to or transferring in, or how much money they have, and so on, right? So so you'll ask data analyst, ask uh, business team to provide this guy a sample of data from these sources. Data analyst will analyze the data, maybe in Excel, small sample of the data. I will analyze it and try to make sense. Okay, I have these four sources available in my company right now, and we can create a project where data we can ask data engineers to ingest this data, certain tables, because CBS there are hundreds and hundreds of tables, and even cards they have hundreds of card system they have hundreds of table. So we just need to get some specific tables. Data analyst ask this question to data engineer and give try to like scope down or try to clarify the scope so that the project can be done in time. No, we don't need all the data from CBS core banking system to be moved to the data lake. I think it's making sense to people whoever is understanding. But what I'm saying, these systems are the data sources. Okay, so these systems are existing banks' data sources. I'm just talking in the banking context right now, but once you understand one context, you'll be able to make sense to other domains for sure. So these sources are directly interfacing to you right now through mobile banking app, through the POS machines, through loans, and so on. Okay, just to let you know. And this is the data area, data warehousing or data lake area. And where data scientist comes in is on the top of that. And let's say there is another initiative comes in. Okay, I think I haven't finished my first initiative. So business asks data analyst to bring in all the customers who doesn't have credit card but have loans. So data engineer brought some of the tables from these tables and created a data lake files, and applied some transformations so those data can link back together, link to one other systems, because it has its own IDs, own primary keys, and so on. So that's how we need to make it link together and create a data warehouse. So I think some of you might know about dimension table, fact tables. I don't know if you have studied that one, but data warehousing things. But like we create dimension tables, fact tables, and so on, and that makes us our data so structured and more auditable, and quality. You can also maintain quality and so on. So now the data comes into data warehouse as deemed customers, which covers all the customers' data, how many times the customer had changed the address, what is the latest email, what is the phone number, and so on. So this captures the deemed customers, captures all the customers information. There is a fact transactions. So there are another fact table calculate, let's say the cards, let's say list of all the customers, just saying yes or no, which customers have cards or so loans, or cards. So basically it calculates the factual details of these things. So how many cards each customers have. So let's say customer one have two cards, customer two have five cards, and then so on. Okay, so it comes in. So now data analyst now get the data access. Now it connect to Superset or any Power BI or any kind of a BI tools, and you'll be able to apply filters and apply the some kind of a logic, so as you'll be able to find out the list of customers who doesn't have credit card but have loans. Okay, you provide the list, and now you cannot simply throw the list to management. Now what it does is it creates a simple reports. Okay, we have 5 million customers. Among those 5 million customers, we have uh, 5,000 customers who does have loan but doesn't have credit cards. So, and also some other demographics. This cost among those customers, that is a data analyst, your mind should come to a point that, okay, among these data, how the demographics looks like. Okay, all these customers are from Kathmandu actually. All of these customers, most of the 90% of the customers are from Kathmandu, and rest of the customers are from out of India, for example. If I take example of Nepal. And among those 90%, let's say if I drill down, I get to know, hey, these among those 90% customers, some of the customers already have paid off loan, but some of the customers have never paid the loan. That like they're defaulted customers, or the customer seems to be defaulted, and we never were able to get the loan back. Maybe 70% of them are so. maybe like only comes down to 30% customers. Now you should be able to say, okay, among these 30% customers, um, maybe few customers or some 10 to 20% among the 10 to 20% customer doesn't have email or phone number. I mean, the numbers shrink down to so small that maybe 500 to 1,000 only little small customer list should be your right target to send campaigns to. And now you say marketing team, hey, marketing team, I want to run a campaign to offer a credit card. If you like now, you can interact with the marketing team and prepare a campaign to run a campaign to um, offer a credit card. Hey, if you join our or if you sign up credit card within this February, you'll get 2% cashback on any transactions you are doing, something like that, you know. So that way, data analyst comes in interaction with the data team or the business team or the management. Okay. So now you can place yourself whether or not you are that guy. And another one is, like I said, a data engineer who was the person to make sure that these data are up to date in data lake, these data are up to date in data transformation or data warehouse. And like sometime data analysts query some data and found out some discrepancies. We don't have any data for let's say in the Biratnagar. Okay, example in Biratnagar. So we don't have any customers data for Biratnagar from Biratnagar. So this seems suspicious, and data analysts say, hey, okay, we don't seem to have all the data from Biratnagar. Something is happening. You ask talk to data engineer, and data engineer try to find out. Oh, something there was a wrong filter in the data, or all the Biratnagar data is placed something like differently, and it was not coming up in our data, and something crunchy happening, and data engineer will fix it and rerun the pipeline to make sure the data is up to date here so that your data analyst next time you run the query, you get the data. You know, so that's what data engineering analysts are doing. Now let's go to data scientists. Okay, now let's run another initiative. Management comes in and ask, uh, uh, hey, would like to find out uh, who is the next best potential credit card customer. Okay. Earlier, what we did was simply by applying the logic, whoever does have a loan, we may assign we may offer them the cards, right? But what if you have to predict customers, like which customers may be the potential credit card customers? Or maybe let me not confuse you in the scenario, but let me create another scenario. Hey guys, I need to know which customers are leaving us soon. It means the churn customers. You might have heard about the definition churn. Which customers is leaving us soon? Can you find out the list of customers or the potential customers who are leaving us, and try to find out the region? Business asks the question. And if the company have data analyst, for sure, like the activities come down through the analyst or data management people, and then so on. I mean, there are just a lot of discussion going on. But let's say the company only have hired first data scientist in the company. There is no one yet. So what data scientist will do is he or she will try to understand what kind of data sets we have. Okay, we have these four data sources. I need to understand my management has asked me to understand how many, asked me potential churn customers. Now you need to build up your logic. So data scientist or data analyst, ideally, it's not always the technical skills. It's also about domain knowledge. So let's say if it's a bank, then you need to understand about the banking domain, like what this system information covers, what this systems covers, what this different system have the data in it, like, or how our banks, what our bank sensitive on, like how our bank is getting the customers from, and when the customers leaves our bank. You need to find a lot of scenarios or circumstances where the customers are living on, and it should analyze it, you know. So data scientist is the person who try to understand all the domain, business domain, like for the banks, for that bank or within the bank, either from the internet and or within the internal team or systems or departments and so on, try to gather information and try to create a framework. Hey guys, I think now we present in a meeting that I think I need to have data engineering or data team that they should help me to bring this data to data lake so that I can start building my data model. Data scientist says that. Now data engineer comes in. Okay, let's say a company hires a data engineer. If not data scientist, all the best. You have to do it yourself. Not all the companies can afford data engineers. If it's a startup companies, then sometimes you have to jump in yourself to do the job. So you prepare data pipelines and do the data ingestion and start building a model. But yes, for sure, they don't expect you to be more accurate and so on. But you should be defending sometime that we need data engineers to do this job. But initially, you will do it. But they will once they will feel the value, they will hire it. It's not something that I don't say I don't do it. Jump in, do it, try it. But like just say the pros and problems and to at least get the samples from the data source and try to build a model from sample. But in to tune the model accurately, you can ask, I need to have these data updated every day or frequently. Then data engineers can help you in that. Okay, so now another thing, you create a now you got your sample, you got your data. Now you need to prepare a model, John model. So data science has its own process. Like for example, you have to do the feature engineering. You have to know what data we have. You need to know what feature sets I need to select among them, and need to feed in to model, and which model should I use. Either I need to use the classification, regression, or neural networks, or even computer vision or natural language processing and so on. I mean, there are several type of models or several type of transformations that you need to try work on. But we'll get to know over the time in the advanced course for sure. But so now data scientists will find out, okay, so I think I need to build one simple SBM model that I need to select the number of cards or number of bank accounts, number of cards or number of fixed deposit accounts the customer have, or how many like how actively customers is engaging in our products, or if the customers have mobile banking or not. I mean, these kind of features you collect yourself so that you get to know, okay, when the situation what kind of situation tells you that okay, customers is dropping or we are losing the customers or their engagement is lowering. Like let's say for example, they were continuously depositing the amount every month since couple of months, but now seems like since couple of months, like seems like the deposit is dropping, and you identify a pattern of dropping, you know, identify pattern, month over month growth or month over month is it growing or or decreasing or increasing. You'll be able to find out the pattern and feed into a model as a feature, and now the model will tell you yes or no, this customer is getting churned or this customer is not getting churned, no? So you'll find answer, and you are not giving this to management yet, but what you do, you'll be working with the other business team or other application team, and or you'll be sharing your accuracy, how accurate you are predicting. Okay, and you'll predict the list of customers and give it to business. Says these are the potential customers I feel to have, or my model is saying these customers will be in churn. Let's analyze this in depth. Now you do exploratory analysis. You deep down the analysis and find out okay why they are churning. And if your model is going accurate, then it's okay. If not, you keep like feeding more data or clean up more data or improve model, and then give the result back to business or communicate back and forth. And finally, once you take it to the production, so in large organization, and like I said, data engineers can help you on that in deploying the models. But in a small organization, you might have to deploy the model yourself. Don't hesitate to say I don't know or I don't want to do this. My job description doesn't for this, something like that, like try to do as much as possible you can do it in your initial career. So uh, I think that's what it is about. But let me know if you have any questions. Anyone have any confusion? Did I make you sleepy, guys?
No, that it was good. Thank you for your clarification.
All right.
I hope everyone is clear about what they are gonna choose. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I,
But no worries, no worries.
anyway,
You are
thank
with
you.
us. Yeah, no, yeah, great, Amraj. Oh, great. You guys are with us. You don't have to worry because this is just the initial first month, and we are not bringing you here to threaten or make you scare off. But you will be with us. Like you still have 3 months left, and throughout the journey, we just want to make sure that you are catching up your best interest of line. And we don't want you after a month, hey, I think I'm not interested in this role or interested in this course, something like that. But you still have chance to switch, but we will not have appetite to catch you up, like we don't expect that you to move in and out between different classes, because if you leave or if you miss few classes, then you will be leaving a lot of contents already. But if you are strong enough to accommodate your contents, then for sure will I mean, you should be able to catch up yourself and go for it. But we wish you take a right decision at the moment, um, and hear your gut, start something now. And it doesn't mean it will stop you going from one another at the end, but we wish you all become the data architect in future, or data management guy in future, data managers or CD, chief data officer, or CEO in the future. All right, so I think we're good. You should be hearing about our next classes from the team soon. In the meantime, we want everyone to wrap up your assignments. And also, just to let you know that we are still hiring to data engineer associate positions. We haven't gotten to fill those positions yet. We're still interviewing. If you feel yourself still you are brushing up yourself side by side and you want to tackle an interview, we're still looking for you. Okay. Yes, hiding in Canada
So
will
I
be
had
also
some
soon.
question regarding the assignment. So in the cube flow that we do, like with them I'm in the class, that's we have to do assignment there, or in the leading to AI platform there are also assignment and the tables that she has given us to create. So that table we upload like a PDF file, or we just do it in the Kubeflow and you guys will check from there for the assignment.
So I think Vidya can answer it better. I think she is here or not. I don't know, but the assignment should be in a central location, the in the leading to AI platform. So if you do your assignment in Kubeflow, try to put the link or name of the path of your file in the notebook file to your Kubeflow. So your assignments are centrally assigned. So when you submit your assignments, it goes through the learn like LMS platform. So we will be able to track whether or not you have submitted a job. So we don't want
So
to
the
go.
previous one that are closed, there I actually missed one or two, I guess. Do we have to also submit that, or we can just do the current one?
Yeah, please submit all the assignments that shows up your profile, how each strong looks like, and ideally it's better if you complete all the assignments and submit it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no worries, Bindu. So no more questions. Don't hesitate to ask question, guys. Like this is so anything running in your mind, feel free to ask, or even if you can type in your message over Slack, and always be in touch with obvious our Abe and Susant and Vidya, other team members, and wish you all the best. I think one question I saw,
I
last
also
question,
had.
one question I
Well,
saw
it's
from the
more like
Abhisud.
a request, if it's okay.
Yes.
Like, can we have a brief session on the future or the courses that will be for different, what I was saying, the data scientist, analyst, and engineering courses? Like in brief discussion, what will be we will be studying, so that it will be easier for us to choose, like based on our confidence level. Will that be possible?
So it's like a trial class, you mean?
Yes, a trial class, like for us to have a glimpse of what we will be learning in the respective courses.
Okay. I
If
think last time over the foundation course, we also already have covered some of the items like creating a small machine learning model. Did you do like create a small machine learning model like regression, something like that?
I actually missed a couple of classes. I am looking at the YouTube videos now. I haven't reached that well, I guess.
Right, always,
It's
Susan?
okay if it's already been done. I will
No,
just
no.
look into the
Yeah, we
tutorials.
try to. Yeah, that's a good point, Bindu. Definitely, we also thought the same way and try to cover up some basic topics over three different arenas and add it into the foundation course. But for sure, uh, we'll talk to the team and we'll see what can be done. Okay, but good
Mhm.
feedback.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Uh, have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye, sir.